Hey, I'm glad to be back with you. This broadcast is Cowboy Ron Remembers. As I mentioned to you before, for 45 years I was a tour bus driver in Washington, D.C. Picked up people, individual sales, and explained the sites to them. But one of the other things the company would do, they would rent the whole bus out for shuttle services or whatever. And I was assigned, as hundreds of other drivers were, to drive the Holocaust victims out to Laurel, Maryland, Capitol Plaza, I believe. And it was an eye opener. It was a privilege. Now, my backdrop here shows one of the death camps. Show little children standing there, nothing to do, freezing. If you worked all day long, you got a potato soup in the mornings, potato soups in the evening. But anyway, as you can imagine, I got there a little bit early. I picked up, my assignment was to pick up the people that were staying at the Holiday Inn, Scott Circle, 1501 Rhode Island Avenue Northwest. And people will come out, a few at a time. So a wonderful couple come out. I wish I could give you their names. But husband and wife, and they sit in the right seat. So I wanted to know if I could ask them some questions, and they gladly shared their experiences with me. And they had no bitterness, but they wanted the record to be set straight. So they survived. They've been married for many years. I think they were about 65 years old. And one of the things that struck me really, that when he would explain something, she looked at him, give him her undivided attention. When she was speaking, he did the same thing. Now, they had been in Russia, and what has saved her life is Russia had beaten the pants off of the Germans, and they were retreating as fast as they could. And what kept these people alive was they needed slave labor to build up bridges and put debris into streams so tanks could get over them. Now, can you imagine working in that bitter cold with a potato soup in the morning, potato soup in the evening, 14, 15 hours a day? But that's what kept them alive. And they explained to me that at nighttime, the Germans would take them to maybe a school, high school, grade school, and they would be they'd have to sleep all night long on their side, one person's stomach, the other person's back. All the classrooms were filled up, all the hallways were filled up, the restrooms were filled up, and 7, 8 people couldn't fit in there, even that. And they looked at me and they said, Ronnie, they would go outside and they would never come back. Okay? Also, you had to go all night long without going to the bathroom. If you couldn't hold it, you can imagine all that cold, nobody can. Well, the few that couldn't hold it, but didn't want to relieve herself in their clothes, they'd go outside and they wouldn't come back. So now I wanted to know the whole story. I don't think the news media ever does a good job of giving us the whole story. They give us the awesome pictures, and I'm not going to go into this too much. We've all seen skeletons in wheelbarrows being dumped into a lime pit or burnt. And we've seen people standing there, and you could count their ribs. In one of the movies I saw the other day, they said that people forgot how to eat. So they said, unlike what the news would show you, said the big death camps you see, I can't pronounce any of their names, said they were actually the Cadillacs of death camps, if you could have a Cadillac. And by that they meant it was ran in an organized way. You only got potato soup twice a day, but you got it on time. and that bought you a little time to try to cope with whatever you had to cope with. But if you stayed in a small concentration camp, if the commandant got drunk, you may not eat for a couple of days. And that's just mind-boggling. But these people, I wish I knew their names and I wish I knew what happened to them, but they did want to share that with me. And I was careful with my questions. But a couple real heroes. And out of that misery, you could say, at the very least, they found true love. Okay, I think that is going to be everything right now. This is Cowboy Ron saying so long.